Nat Turner is an enslaved Baptist preacher who lives on a Virginia plantation owned by Samuel Turner. With rumors of insurrection in the air, a cleric convinces Samuel that Nat should sermonize to other slaves, thereby quelling any notions of an uprising. As Nat witnesses the horrific treatment of his fellow man, he realizes that he can no longer just stand by and preach. On October 21st, 1831, Turner's quest for justice and freedom leads to a violent and historic rebellion in Southampton County. The Birth of a Nation stars Nate Parker, Armie Hammer, Mark Boone Jr., and Colman Domingo. It is rated R for disturbing violent content and some brief nudity. This movie made a huge splash at the Sundance Film Festival, with lots of Oscar buzz being generated, and Fox Searchlight snatching up the distribution rights for a Sundance record of $17.5 million for this movie. Unfortunately, the film is also dealing with a great deal of controversy because Nate Parker and one of his associates were accused of rape in 1999. I'm not going to get into all that, and as a movie fan, I'm not concerned about that, because as a movie reviewer, you have to separate the art from the artist. All of the performances in this movie were great, especially Nate Parker as Nat Turner. It certainly is worthy of at least an Oscar nomination, if the Academy can get beyond his controversial past. I was a little confused about halfway through this movie because Nate's master, Samuel, who's played by Armie Hammer, up until this point had been relatively friendly to Nat, and had actually treated him pretty nicely. But all of a sudden he snaps at Nat, and demands that a female slave be brought into the house so that one of the guests can have his way with her. Now, this film does depict Samuel the slave master as an alcoholic, and alludes to the fact that he's being paid handsomely by this guest, but it's still such a dramatic turn in the character, and such a huge change that happens so abruptly. It's kind of like, wow, where did this come from? Were there hints of this behavior earlier? And the answer to that, unfortunately, is no. He just turns on a dime, and that took me out of the movie for a little bit. It would have worked better if there was always tension between the two, the slave and the master, and the tension just kept building until he finally snaps. But instead, it's like one moment Samuel is protecting Nat from being attacked by a dog, and the very next moment he's treating him like dirt. There's no build-up to the changing character whatsoever, and that's unfortunate. It is a beautifully shot film, despite it depicting a dark time in American history, and I have to give credit to Nate Parker for this. For a first-time director, it was quite impressive. Unfortunately, the movie does suffer a bit in its pacing. It is a slow burn and a little uneven, but it did keep my attention throughout. The film is brutal, but appropriately so. I mean, slavery is a bad scar in our nation's history, and the wounds of slavery may never be healed completely, so I get that. It was a little cringe-inducing at times, though, because it so graphically depicts some absolutely inhumane treatment that I am disgusted is a part of this nation's history. The movie definitely had potential, and it was one of my most anticipated movies as we head into awards season. It was good, and I recommend seeing it, but ultimately I was a little disappointed. It's interesting as a historical period piece, but not to dive too deeply into spoiler territory here, but I would have liked to have seen more of the revolution that Nat had started. There was a lot of build-up, and I was expecting a little bit more payoff than what we got. Overall, it is a good movie, but it's just not the great movie that I was anticipating it would have been based on the early reports out of Sundance. I'm going to give The Birth of a Nation a 3 out of 5. Have you seen The Birth of a Nation yet? If so, what did you think? What is your favorite historical American drama? Let me know, sound off in the comment section down below. You guys, thank you so much as always for watching, I greatly appreciate it. If you liked this video, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, that would really help me out a lot. And then make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel here so you don't miss any of my other videos. You can find me online at Jeffito'sMovieBlog.com, on Facebook at Jeffito'sMovieBlog, and on Twitter simply at Jeffito'sBlog. Those social media links can be found down below in the description like always. I'll be back soon with more movie reviews. Until next time, I'll see you at the movies. Bye-bye.